many years, since 1979, serves as commander in 97 and 99. John is married to Knocking Derohi, Lucille Farsakian, who just became an aunt today, and of course that makes John an uncle. Her sister had a baby boy up in San Francisco today, maybe what, a couple hours ago or hour ago, and his name is Hunter. Maybe he'll be in peace officer one day, who knows. They have, what do you have, 4 grandchildren? Okay. Well, I just want to say one last thing about John. You know, you've heard about linguists. They master languages. Well, we like John as our MC because he's our perennial MC and he's been doing it for years and years. Well, because he masters the Armenian and the English language so well, I call him our linguist. So, not other linguist. Master of many.
That's an Italian food.
It could be. It's up to you now.
Thank you, Gary. Thanks for the kind words. Padiyagag. It's an honor to be serving as your MC again this evening. And a lot of credit to Gary. He chaired this whole event, putting it all together, and he and his committee did a wonderful job. And it's doing all of them. The unspoken truth is that Gary's wife does all the work, he gets the credit. One of Cindy's friends asked her if there was any insanity in their family, and she said, yeah, my husband thinks he's boss. Since Gary did all the formal introductions, I'll dispense with that, and we're going to have a little change in the program tonight. We're going to move the up to the very top here, so that I hear that crime is going rampant out there, and the gentlemen in blue and ladies and gentlemen have to leave to protect us. So I tell you, I've never felt safer at a venue before in my life. And you notice none of the police officers dance. That's because they wear these heavy shoes. And you know, they're expensive, and you don't want to wear those soles out before too long. So anyway, welcome all of you, and this is the 52nd year that we've gathered here as Southern California Knights and Daughters of Vartan to celebrate Vartanants. We gather yearly like this to pay homage to General Vartan Mamigonyan and his brave warriors who gave their lives at the Battle of Avarayr way back in 451 AD for a basic cause, and that was freedom, basically freedom of religion. Even though we lost that battle, it was and is a defining event in our history that gave to us a spirit of perseverance, resolve, and sacrifice which has lasted until today. It is that spirit which kept the Armenians united, ultimately enabling them to break the Persian yoke of oppression and remaining a Christian nation from that time forward. That's the reason we gather in celebration every year. Now, our founding fathers had the smarts. They possessed the wisdom to capture that spirit from those ancient times and incorporate it into our principles and beliefs. It is that Christian spirit which continues to sustain us as a nation and a people. Blessed be the memory of those brave souls who fought and died for a future they secured for us. Now that you know a bit about our history and the Knights of Vartan, let me explain a little bit about tonight's program. Each year over the past few years, we developed certain criteria to honor certain people within the community. We've done people who have advocated recognition of the genocide. We've done educators. We've done other sundry groups. This year, we decided, with everything that's going on in this country, we decided to honor our peace officers. Recently, we have witnessed a marked increase of dissension across the country in which certain nefarious elements are waging concerted protests against all authority. It has been the various law enforcement agencies attempting to maintain law and order at the risk of their own well-being, which have taken the brunt of their discontent. In the course of their duties, these officers have been unfairly characterized by the unruly mobs, even some in the media, as the enemy of the people, and subjected to constant verbal and physical attacks. The majority of us truly admire our men and women in law enforcement. Thus this year, the Los Angeles County Tri-Lodge of the Knights of Vartan, which is an Armenian organization, in appreciation of their exemplary service, has chosen to honor a number of our own Armenian police officers who serve our many communities. Much like General Vartan's warriors, these are our present-day heroes and advocates defending our freedoms, especially freedom from lawlessness. We are truly grateful for these brave men and women who are willing to stand on that thin blue line, risking their lives to serve, protect, and sacrifice for us. Their dedication and selflessness are exemplary, and for this we honor them. And in your programs, you'll find brief biographies on each of them. Speaking of the thin blue line, you were presented tonight with those small black flags. This is a thin blue line USA flag to keep as a keepsake for this evening's event. They're compliments of past Commander Armin Keshishian. This little flag carries a special meaning. The blue represents the officer and the courage he or she finds deep inside when faced with insurmountable odds. The black background is the constant reminder of all officers who have fallen in the line of duty. The line on that little flag symbolizes what police officers protect: the barrier between anarchy and a civilized society, between order and chaos, between respect for decency and lawlessness. Together they symbolize the camaraderie law enforcement officers all share, a brotherhood like no other, except maybe the Knights of Vartan. So at this time, I would like to call up to begin the presentations. We're going to do them by groups. Pasadena Police Chief Philip Sanchez, I'd like to call him up. And will all the officers from the Pasadena Police Department, and I think we had one LA officer, I don't know if she's here, but would all the Pasadena police officers come on up?
Well, I first would like to say to the Knights of Vartan, thank you very much for honoring these special men. We also have Armenian women that work for the Pasadena Police Department. Unfortunately, Guyane could not be here this evening as well, but if we could recognize her in abstention. In a moment, Greg and Ara and Voskin will receive a plaque bestowed upon them. But I wanted to take a moment and tell you just a little bit about these great men. They really represent the best of Pasadena. And you might ask yourself, well, why is that? I think in order to become a police officer, particularly when you are of Armenian descent, it is an arduous journey. If you think about that, many of you who came from Armenia were taught not to trust the government. You were taught not to trust the police. And so Greg and Ara and Voskin and others had to overcome that, either from inside the Pasadena Police Department, inside social dynamics growing up, and is true of our brothers and sisters in the Glendale Police Department as well. Also, it is a difficult journey to become a police officer, irrespective of your upbringing and your culture. But when I look at the successes of the Armenian families, we can learn many lessons from you. And teaching our children the language and the dance and the appreciation for family. And these three gentlemen, among many others, represent that very well. In the last several months, many California law enforcement officers have been murdered in the line of duty. Most recently, just a few weeks ago, Officer Boyd from the Whittier Police Department was shot. And what we know in the last couple of assailants where police officers have been killed, they've been killed by people who have been released from prison too early. And so when I look out in the audience and I think about the collective brain thrust, the collective authority, the collective position that you all hold as Armenians, it's my belief that tonight, as we celebrate these men and these women, that we fall short of our social duty if we don't follow up with our elected officials about AB 109 or about Prop 47 or about 57 that California voters put into place. We must change the law in California, or brave men like the ones and brave women like the ones that stand before you and the ones that will come tonight, that their lives are at extreme peril. My wife Deborah and I, we have dogs in the fight. My son is a law enforcement officer, and our oldest son serves in the United States Army Special Forces. We know what it's like to sacrifice. So please support these officers. Please support these officers and our brothers and sisters from Glendale, from the Los Angeles Police Department, from state, local, federal law enforcement agencies. These men and women are some of the bravest, particularly here in Pasadena, that I've had the privilege to serve with. And just on a lighter note, two ends, Father, I don't know if you're here still, we don't do parking tickets. And secondarily, we have fewer Armenian officers in Pasadena, but they're a little smarter and a little better looking. Thank you.
We have our National Grand Commander here, who's going to help you present the trophies or the plaques to the officers. If you would call their names out.
Okay, so do we have a plaque? Yeah. So our first plaque is to Sergeant Greg Ashvarian. Greg, thank you. Our next awardee is Sergeant Ara Bazikian.
He's pretty big for a Bazdik.
Our next, with great pleasure, Voskin Gordikian, Lieutenant. Officer Susanna Kazarian, Los Angeles Police Department.
Okay. One more.
And not to be left out, we'd like to present one to Chief Philip Sanchez as well. So without him, all these guys would be lost.
I won't read the whole plaque, but it says Chief Philip Sanchezian.
Thank you. And now from the Glendale Police Department, Chief Robert Castro could not be here, so I believe we have Deputy Police Chief Carl Povielaitis. That sounds good to me. Patriotti, Tikanis. Oh, Lithuanian, that's pretty close. The only Lithuanian word I know you don't want to hear.
Probably like some of the words I know in other languages. And actually, while we're doing this, would all the officers from Glendale Police Department please come and join me up here? Just to make a couple of brief introductory comments, I will echo what Chief Sanchez said. Obviously, we live in very, very challenging times, and we have a few more Armenian-American officers up here, and this is a fraction of what really the Glendale Police Department has, and it's been a long-standing process for Glendale to become reflective of its community and to reach out into its community. Safe communities don't happen by accident. And they're not just because of a police department. They're because of the relationship of a police department and the community and organizations like this that support safe communities and support a police department. So I would certainly like to thank the Knights of Vartan for your support. I'd like to thank the community for its support of our officers. And when I look at the officers here, they range in experience. Some have been around maybe a little over a decade, and a little higher than that. And others have been with us just a few years, but as I look down the line here, some of them are also homegrown because they started with us as cadets. And they started as either explorers and then cadets, and then became police officers with us and have become part of our professional organization and part of bringing that through. But I got to tell you, every day they are actually our heroes. They are my heroes because every day they put that uniform on, they go out and they go out to protect somebody else's life. To fulfill that promise, step into the police that when somebody needs help, they will be there, and it doesn't matter who you are. And so we couldn't be prouder of these officers, and again, we'd like to thank you for their recognition. So Tigran, Sahak, Edgar, Vahe, Baruch, Meg, Tino, Olga, and Lola, we said we could not be prouder of all. They have all earned this award, and as I said, they all represent a fine police department and a fine community. Thank you. And we have this, at least the first one in order, Lieutenant Lola Brandon. Congratulations. And Officer Vahe Bramian. Officer Mehdi Badal. Officer Baruch Caribbean. Officer Sahak Narcissian. Officer Timo Suleiman. Lieutenant Tigran Topadzikian. Officer Olga Veruzian. Officer Edgar Zabunian.